pretty urgent, and we're going to need to really use all of our willpower and skill power. So, what is their will, skill, and ability? So, because god damn it, we got to go viral. So, damn, we were just hot. Now we're brisk because the wind started. We were in the shade, but damn, it got brisk real quick. But all right, guys. We do need to brainstorm ways to go viral because man, we had a heck of a month last month, man. More in 1 month than the whole year of 2025, which was more than 2024, which was more than the previous 9 total. And so we got to keep the curve going up. 6 o'clock West Coast American Standard Time. Saturday. We got to go viral, guys. We are, for all intents and purposes, we are by ourselves. And god damn it, we have to, the floodgates have to break. Getting a little 1 million views is cool, but we need the floodgates to break, you guys. Like, we got to get 1 million views a day. It has to be that stupid, you guys, that we get 1 million views a day. And, we post all the damn footage. It's raw. Obviously, it's clean. But we do need, just probably that third party. So we have to be able to third party our way up, because someone has to be promoting you. If that makes sense, right? Like, we can share our footage. It's fun. It's, we're having fun sharing footage and talking to women and, trying to do as much damn tight stuff as possible. But eventually there's gonna need to be, and we're talking, this is 12 years in, you guys. We started the YouTube itself 20 years ago, but that was just to have a YouTube. And but once we got, started G John Style Bomb, got famous 10 years ago, maybe 9.5 years ago, but again, for all intensive purposes, famous 10 years ago, and we've been steadily becoming more and more famous, all right? And, we're at the point now where it's so dangerous, because fame is dangerous, right? Rappers get shot, rappers get jumped just for proclaiming themselves on the microphone. And it's just something that's what it is. And so when you get to be in an environment where it's dangerous, like the west side of Portland is now, Beaverton, Oregon, all based on fame, right? All based on fame, that's what it is. And so that's all it is. We have to generate more revenue. All right, we've obviously make here and there. You feel me? But we have to generate more revenue. We have to get a third party. We got to stop talking trash about Oregon. Honestly, because there's opportunity, and that's the one thing we always got to remind ourselves. There is opportunity despite the melee and the hideous nature of man. There is opportunity. So getting drunk, getting drunk, and we're getting drunk. So yeah, yeah, man, bro. Bro, it's live. Bro, we posted it, man. It's 18 minutes long. Young Cha. That's maybe you're being funny right now. You might be being funny. But it's literally up on a public platform named YouTube. 18 minutes long. Go look exactly at what we you can look at the whole interaction. So okay, the part that was off video would have been when she followed me into the gym after we were done with the interview. She followed me into the gym because she needed a signature on like a signature that looks like you would sign for like a UPS delivery or something. A postal service. It looked like a postal service electronic sign pad. And she followed us up in there and asked for us, like, what are we even signing? Is this a blind signature? But that's what happened off video is that. And we were like, well, send it to us, email, whoop-de-whoop. And we had to get going. So that's about it, though. We'll get it going. So, but yeah, you can go look at exactly our interaction. It's in well, it's relative. It's kind of HD. It's HD enough. It might not be 1080p, but it's like 480p maybe. So it's HD enough. It's better than standard definition. So, but yeah, go watch it, man. 18 minutes, bro. It's yeah. Appreciate you asking. Even if you are just kind of messing around, appreciate the feedback, guys. So, yeah, what were we talking about before that little question right there? Huh. Yeah, but damn, bro. What were we talking about? Man. But Jet Life is here. Yeah. Oh, dang. Jet Life. Wow. Wow. Dang, you're probably right, man. You know what? That's yeah. Now, Jet Life, just for the record, we reach out to every person at No Jumper that we know, right? So Sharp, Maya, Wagner, Robesman, is there anyone else? Four people. Now there's probably 20 people that work there, but like we only know 4 of them. And we reach out to them, you guys. We reach out just the same way we reach out to school buddies or any Facebook acquaintances. We reach out because it's like we're already there. And it's like it takes more effort to withhold a reach out right? To withhold acknowledgement and, you know, and abstain from acknowledgement. That's labor intensive. So we just reach out because it's actually easier and it's seamless. It's seamless, you guys. If you're already there, you just boop, that's nothing. If you already know somebody. So yeah. Yeah, we do need to get on to the jumper, that's for sure. You're right about that. Okay. Off Bamra. Really flawless plan. Yeah. Now with Jet Life, okay, so Jet Life, um, we the same way we reach out to the no jumper acquaintances that we have, and just kind of rattle the cage because obviously we could use that third party. Um, we actually do exactly what you just said on a local level. We do reach out, right? We're always, we always interact with people. Does that make sense? Now that causes a lot of hatred, right? Because if they're afraid of an international guy, they're intimidated by a guy that's been famous since they were 14 and now they're 24 or 26. They're intimidated, they're vindictive, probably insidious. And so what it does is it causes the word that comes to mind, they buck. Does that kind of land? Does that word land? They buck. It's like, even on basic things like, you know, responding to a Facebook post or something from some locals, right? Even on stuff like that, the stuff that should be just rudimentary, it becomes a big deal because it's the American Messiah. And that's the price of fame locally. It's just the price of fame locally, bro. Being a rapper, being a high traffic, high octane individual is dangerous in your hometown or region, we should say, because Beaverton's only one town. There's a bunch of little towns around it, and so. But to circle the wagon, you're right. You're right? And we've been trying that for 10 years, bro. And now we got a couple local guys that, you know, they're good acquaintances, right? They're good, but it's like a couple. It's like, bro, Portland is trash, bro. In fact, Oregon is trash, bro. Let's be real, bro. Oregon is trash, man. And but it made the Messiah. So yeah, 503 hoop. That would be fun. You're right about, bro. That would be fun to start, man. We would need a high octane microphone, a good setup, HD setup. Man, yeah, that would be fun, man. But Jet Life, thank you for that feedback. Appreciate that. Bizarre. Why did he make those accusations? Maybe he was hiding. Well, Young Ja, he needed me to sign the blind signature. He needed me to sign that because he has a boss, right? So whoever at Channel 5 is his boss. Channel 5, his third party, is his boss, right? And so it's different than, if you're like in my life, when we have a third party, it's like a partnership. But in his life, as a 22-year-old or even slightly older than that, it's his boss. It's different, right? Because we're grown. We've been grown for long ass time, whereas he's kind of a young guy. He's like, he might be a millennial, but barely, right? And so he's so young that was his boss, you know, and so he needed a signature from Pimpin to post it to his third-party website and or YouTube, whatever it is. And you know, once we kind of were like, you know, we just met yesterday. We just met. You got me trying to sign something. We just met. Like, come on, man. Even if we knew each other, might never even sign that, right? Like, might never sign that. And so, bizarre, you know, when you're famous, stuff like that happens all the time. You got people trying to show their ass. People need attention from you. They need your acknowledgement, or they want to start some little pseudo beef or an actual beef. You know, they want to start whatever they start, you know, with people that are more active than they are, more high processing than them, you know, whatever little bonfrontation that they start, you know. And so he's one of them, right? He just started his little lightweight beef, and you know, he recruited Jack Wagner successfully, and so now then it's two guys, and that was it. So when you're famous, stuff like that happens all the time. So it might be bizarre for a regular person, but bro, we deal with so much fucking bullshit that it is insane. And so, but yeah, that's what it is. He needed the signature, and then he needed the signature, and we kind of were like, well, you know, bro, we just met. We posted ours. Just post yours. We posted ours to our YouTube. Just go post yours. Since when do you need a signature to post to YouTube? Since when? You know, thank you for asking. Young Ja. And the next comment says, hold on, let's find out where we're at. Yeah, accusations is right. Young Ja. Thank you for asking. And the next feedback says, bro, when have we ever done that? What makes you think we ever did that? We upload raw footage, bro. Like, we upload raw footage, and always have. And yeah, you might be right about our fans from that era. Yeah, you might be right about that. We're up. Let's see. We just huh? Or maybe we if the change you're looking for or talking about might have been because we became more focused on rapping and basketball, right? You know, trying to play pro, which failed, right? Because our joints failed. Really, it's like our joints failed when we tried to play. Our joints just, man, running around with sore Achilles is rough. And so if it looks like any videos kind of evolved or something, you know, if there's a difference in the videos, then it would be just because we became, you know, full-time rappers attempting to be a basketball player again abroad, right, in Dominican Republic. And so, yeah, my damn joints, bro, they just wouldn't let me. And so, yeah, but that's what it is, bro. So, he said, was it Judas editing? That's funny. Was it Judas? Yeah. Yeah, our footage is raw, like straight from the device. So 12 years now, bro. Yeah. That's what it is, man. But yeah, bro, getting drunk, man. We're out here in the damn sunlight. Well, in the shade, but it's a little bit. Well, bro, we were business partners, so um, he would. How do we say this? Like he looked out, so to speak. Like before he became a millionaire. Um, Before he became a millionaire, like, we, what would he do? Stipends or something. It would be like stipends before he automated a turnkey operation. Bankrolled is a little bit of a strong word, but he deserves his success, right? He was the brains, he was the skill, the ability, and then we were business partners, right? Because when you're getting your business off the ground and it's basketball, you need to roll in with the Phoenix, Brother Man 5000. When you're rolling into an amphitheater, a university, a TV station, an auditorium, you need to roll in with a real ass basketball player / the Phoenix, right? And so, we were business partners, right? But now he's a millionaire, right? And so maybe that's why they say that he bankrolled it, because he himself is a millionaire now, multi-millionaire. Which is kind of funny that, all of a sudden he wants to part ways and block his 14-year business partner for a business that we built, right? Now that his shit is automated, right? Now everything's automated. The upsells, the distribution, it's all automated. And so now that he's fully automated, it's funny how incidental that is. That, wow, oh, now you're rolling solo, right? But you were fine, leaning on the Messiah early on, back in 2007, 2011, so, but yeah, so great question. Thank you for that feedback. And that's something, we've addressed that before, but without that feedback, we would have gone years without addressing that. So, yeah. So, bankrolled's again, to circle the wagon, bankrolled is a strong word, Did he look out? Of course. He looked out. Obviously we were business partners. He looked out. And then obviously he had his back as well. It was a partnership, and it was 14 years. 14 years, bro. 2007, when we were at Western Oregon University. We were sitting in my living room, and he says, yeah, we'll just roll around from state to state finding work, right? Women, right? So work, right? And that was in my living room in 2007. And that's when we started, bro. And so now he had a master plan. He's, a devious guy, right? A devious guy. And honestly, sadistic. Let's be honest. That's sadistic, bro. 14 years. But with him, let's say we were still business partners these last 4.5 years. G. John's, like, the last 4.5 years would have looked different, right? Like, we wouldn't have got jumped at the Riff Raff show. We wouldn't have got jumped because we would have been doing something else. We wouldn't have went viral with my woman trying to beat me, grabbing me and domestic violencing, pimping. We wouldn't have gone viral, and because we would have just been doing something else, right? And so the times that we've gone viral recently have always thought, well, if we were with Super Handles, we would have been doing something else. We would have never gone viral. So, but we would have had more money, right? Would have had more money. So, but yeah, trade-offs. But yeah, I mean, you can say that. Like, again, if they want to say bankroll, they can say that. It's just too strong of a word, right? Because does YouTube, how much is a website? $10 a month? So bankroll is a little, yeah. So YouTube's free. All of our stuff is raw, so that's free. We just put it up on the internet. And so that's what that is, man. Great feedback. Thank you for that, Young Ja. Oh, yeah. Slow down, Bobby V. Green light. John Legend. Yep. We know about those, Jet Life. Thank you for that. Into Jet Life, thank you for this, which says, right now, was the woo work play? Was the woo work play in Monmouth? Oh. So if you're asking, was there work at Western? If you're asking if there was work at Western, lightweight, bro. Like, it honestly, it was slim pickings. Like, you could get laid. But it wasn't like there was just work everywhere, right? And so we'd go to Salem, yeah. We would go to, for our primary was Oregon State, because that was just down the road. So we'd drive down to Oregon State every Thursday, almost within reason. And we'd go to hit the venue, and it was the time of my life. Like, it is the most fun of my life. Okay, there's girls, there's music. And when you're at a university, very rarely are people doing drugs, right? Obviously, people do drugs places and stuff, but when you're at a university, it's just alcohol, man. So maybe people smoked a little bit, but like, see, if you go out in Portland, bro, people are doing drugs and stuff, and it's like, the bathrooms are full, because people are doing drugs in them, stuff like that. It's like, Portland is so trash. God, Portland is so fucking trash, you guys. But back to Oregon State. They had this venue. It's called the Platinum. It was the time of my life, man. The time of my life was that. And so, yeah, so we'd go there every Thursday, man. There was work there for sure. So that's how it went. But that's what it was, bro. 6:35 West Coast American Standard Time. But yeah, no, we would go to Salem every once in a while. So, Jet Life, thank you for that feedback. Into Young Ja says, Salem, Young Ja. Young Ja. Now, what's up with these vermin on Facebook? They were throwing. Oh yeah. Okay, so did you pop onto Facebook and have a look? Yeah, bro, it got bad, bro. It got bad. So it's probably 50-50, 50% true, 50% lies. So it's 50-50. Bro, it got bad. Yeah, it got bad, bro. It's bad. It's so rough being, bro. Your fame goes to their heads, right? And so, yeah, it's bad, bro. And what's wild on Facebook, those are all, well, mostly, those are mostly Beaverton guys. Maybe Portland too, right? Maybe Portland, but, went to high school in Beaverton. And those are like schoolmates, and those are people that, would talk to abroad. And then now they realize they could get their own little attention locally by, slandering the Messiah. And it got bad, bro. Yeah, and that was recently. That was 3-4 days ago. But yeah, now some of it obviously 50% legit, easily half it's true, because they have to, in order to make their lies hit hard, it has to be rooted in truth, right? So if you imagine, if they say one true thing, then they have enough validation to say the next lie, right? Because they could say something like, yeah, Garrett goes to strip clubs, right? Which is a truth. And then they could say something like, one of the funniest lies is, he was like, yeah, he pays the girls in his videos. Like, it's like, what? Bro, we recruit those girls, bro. Like, that's what makes what we do so, honestly, phenomenal. Because who can recruit at the level that we do? The amount of fine women. Nobody can do what we do. The guys that have as many women that we do are just giving them either drugs or money, or or they live with them, or they work for their, they might work together or something, and one's the manager or something, like. But there's no American guy that is able to, into adulthood, it's different when you're 24, right? Into adulthood, recruit women with your words and your game and your aura and your fame. There's almost zero people that can do what we do, right? Because guys fold. Guys fold and end up paying girls, right? And that's why people accuse us of such, right? Because it's seemingly impossible. And yeah, so you know, so to answer your question again, is anything they said true? Well, yeah. These are people that have known me since either 1998 from moving to Oregon, or from like the mid 2000s from like just being a young adult, right? Because Facebook is really local. And so again, the one example was, he always goes to strip clubs, right? And then someone else would be like, yeah, and he pays the girls to promote him. It's like, come on, bruh. Like, and here's the thing, where were they at 10 years ago? We were doing this 10 years ago. How come they never said anything then? But yeah, glad that you had a look at that, bro. Appreciate you going on over to Facebook to have a look, because G John's folklore is some of the most thorough folklore of any kind of, we've said it before, but famous person, right? So any famous person, has a folklore, right? But bro, ours is so fucking thorough. Ours is so fucking thorough that it's 12 years long. G John Stop Bomb folklore. But yeah, that's what makes people upset is that slow grind, that that long game fame. That's what makes people upset, because are they able to do it? Hell no. And so impossible for them, right? And so they were also saying, well, yeah, they did say that. That seems to be the most obvious lie. I mean, do we address that, or do we address the lies that are so obtuse, the lies that are so grandiose, bro? Do we address those, or we just kind of let them ride? Because goodness gracious. So yeah, people do say that. Yeah, the hate is wild, bro. The price of fame, man. But and you notice how all the accusations, so there's only 3 of us here total, if you count me. But you notice how the accusations are general. Like, it's like drugging, harassing, and everything is general, right? It's all hypothetical, right? All the accusations, instead of, if you do something bad, the people accusing you should be able to be like, he was at the such and such and did this to such and such, and then such and such did such and such. They should be able to explicitly say what happened, right? If these things did occur, right? But they speak in hypotheticals and hyperbole, right? He was drugging and harassing. And they'll be talking about a girl that's like wearing our shirt. Like they'll be talking about a girl that's like wearing a G John's shirt and dancing to our song, right? And so that's the wildest part. Thank you for going and looking at that, right? The biggest bra section of subscribers that we can get, especially in this time where it's hard to generate traffic because YouTube sends out 0.1% of notifications. Same with Instagram and Facebook. So appreciate you going and looking at that, bro. But because yeah, we want all that information out. We want everyone to be like questioning it, right? To question the damn. You can question the Messiah all day, you know. That's part of the reason we're in the public. The public is for for the feedback because that's what's fun, you know. So okay, so this is a good one, and this one is one of those things that's 50% true. Okay, so are we explicitly banned from bars? Probably zero. Okay, probably zero. Zero explicit bans, right? So, but everyone can look at body language, right? And if they get intimidated by a guy that will be filmed when out. So again, let's repeat that. Okay, wait, let me read your feedback just to make sure we're answering it 100%. So, okay, so yeah, if a group of staff members in a venue is intimidated by a patron that is being filmed by other patrons, it's much easier to get rid of the famous guy that's being filmed than to tell each person to stop filming. Does that make sense? So what do you do, right? If a guy's being filmed at a strip club and it's making the girls nervous because they don't want their parents to know about them stripping, then what do you do? Do you get rid of the guys filming? Because that might be as many as 4 guys at one time, right? Oh, they're like, gee, Joe, like there, okay, there he is, right? Like whatever, whatever fanfare that incurs when we walk into a local venue. Is it easier to get rid of the patrons that are filming or to ask the Messiah to leave? It's much easier to ask one Messiah to leave a venue than to go over to each patron and be like, hey, you can't film in here. Whoop-de-whoop. Filming is prohibited. There's naked girls walking around. So instead, what they do is they get the Messiah, to eventually leave. Now, that could be through a multitude of ways, right? But yeah, that's what it is, bro. And so yeah, have we been asked to leave bars? Of course, bro. The same way that Beyonce or Michael Jackson would be asked to abstain from a restaurant because it'll start a riot, right? On a smaller level, that's the local fame of Garrett Johnson, G. John Stott Bomb, in the 503 locally, right? People go bonkers when they see us. It's stupid, bro. So, is that one true? Banned is a strong word. Banned is a strong word, bro. But people film us in the strip club, and you know, all the staff gets upset. So yeah. Yeah, they were pulling out all this. That's a good way to put it. They were pulling out all the stops. And so, and here's what's funny. Those are people that dropped out of school, right? Those are people that dropped out of school, um, you know, smokers. Uh, yeah, but yeah, that's a good way to put it. They were pulling out all the stops, and they still are. If we go look at Facebook right now, there will be some bullshit on there. It's like, bruh. Uh, uh, yeah, bro, it really is something. Dang, I'm just glad at least one person from YouTube went over there. We need we need all 5,000 of our YouTube subscribers. We need them on Instagram and Facebook too, because we need activity, bruh. Like, so yeah. Now, Young Ja, was that a girl that was saying that? Was her name Kylie? Because she has 20,000 followers. Her name is Kylie Delgado. And she has 20,000 followers on Facebook, bro. And she was just slandering Pimpin', bro. Like, and we were like, all right. But yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, there was so much going on that it's hard to remember who was even saying what. Like, there was so much damn hate. Like, it's hard. It's hard to put names with faces, right? Because some of those people we know, right? Like maybe as many as a third of those people we know in person. Like, we know them, like, in person, and have known them for years, decades even. And so for us, it's easy to kind of have a register of what has happened. But like, yeah, it is something else. Appreciate that feedback, bro. Uh, yeah, man. 48-minute live. 48-minute live. So, but yeah, Vermin is right. Boy, Vermin is right. Oregon vermin, bro. Never ending. It's never ending, man. So that's all it is, bro. We'll take the promo though. That's the one thing, yeah. All right. Now, here's the other thing. All right, you're gonna get some good folklore here, okay? Because we're gonna talk about this, okay? Uh, that is where we, you know, in his parents' barn, we built our business, Super Handles, okay? And we would, we'd play. Obviously, would try to avoid playing him and his friends, because like, for me being a tall guy, it's hard for little guys to guard me. because they're too little, right? Now he can he has enough defensive integrity to guard me, but not his buddies, right? You got a bunch of just right wing vermin out there in Dayton, Oregon, and McMinnville, Oregon, and they just had too much trouble dealing with me, so I would try to avoid playing, but sometimes would play, right? And you're right, the floor was slick, fucking slick. There's, like you said, a wooden post right on the sideline of each side. There's a stairwell that goes downstairs that's right on the sideline. So the stairwell goes downstairs. There's wooden posts, like you said, okay? And the other thing is the backboard, right behind the backboard is a barn wall. A fucking barn wall. And so if you go up to block a shot, if you go up and try to jump and block a shot or even try to dunk, you might scrape your whole body on a fucking wooden wall, a barn wooden wall. So you got slick floor, wooden posts that are right on the sideline, a stairwell, you got equipment on the sidelines, and then you got the fucking wall behind the backboard that if you go up to block a shot, you will scrape your whole body. So you're right. It was one of the worst places to play. But we did it because we were building a business, right? And for him, it's great, right? For him, it's great because he's a little guy. And this is going to sound biased because, he's little. Obviously, Pimpin is tall. But when you're little, you need as many the word is confounding variables, okay? You need enough variables to interrupt the natural homeostasis of basketball. When you're little, you need interruptions, right? You need a barn wall behind the hoop because if a tall guy goes up to block you, he'll think twice, right? You need a slick floor because you can make sure that your shoes, if you own the barn, make sure that your shoes can grip on it. And then everyone else is coming in just with whatever shoes they have, right? So if you make sure your shoes are good enough to grip, then again, you have an advantage. That's another confounding variable, right? And so as good as Super Handles is, man, he is a great basketball player, okay? Great basketball player, okay? But he's little. And so all those variables team up to help him kill on his home court. And yeah. And the other thing is there's no sides. It's only the middle portion of the court. So if we played one-on-one, we'd always have to play from the top. And honestly, Michael Jordan can't guard Allen Iverson from the top of the key. Okay? He's just too tall. Michael Jordan is too tall to guard a little guy at the top of the key. He's just too tall, plain and simple. And so that was it was hard for me to guard Hildebrand Super Handles at the top of the key. But that's the only part where we could play one-on-one because there was no side, right? There was no wing to the court. And so that was a big advantage, which was fine when we were business partners because we were building a business. So we had an objective in mind. Now, in hindsight, it's like, man, you fucking lucky fuck. In hindsight, it's like, oh, you had a master plan this whole time, you fuck, right? And he only wanted to play there, right? It's because all the variables were, set up kind of to help a small guy succeed, as good as he is, right? Like, he's Super Handles, devastating basketball player. But you're right. You're right about that damn barn. So Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was the reason why, but I knew something was weird.
Wish there were some women that would walk by, bro, instead of dudes, bro. God damn it. Pulling out all the stops, yes. But yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for that feedback, Young Ja. And so, space, boom. All right, man. That's some good stuff. In fact, we'll probably hop after this live. We'll probably hop onto Facebook and just get our laugh on and get our laugh on, man. Because they are promoting us in a backwards way. All that hate delivers traffic, right? And so on a certain level, we appreciate all their hatred, right? Because we need traffic every day. So it's like I think the word is duality, right? Good and the bad. And so we'll take it. Shit. And now we know where people stand. Even my own family, bro. My own fucking family is like all playing devil's advocate and trying to play the middle. It's like, well, someone could die if they run up the wrong way. If they run up the wrong way too deliberately, they could die, right? So, yeah, it got really bad, bro. Great feedback. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Wish that all 5,000 of our subscribers were on Facebook, participating and shit. They could even jump in on the hate, right? Because we had haters on Instagram too. YouTube is the place where we have the least haters, but that's only because there's less interactivity, if that makes sense. Like you guys are interacting right now, but that's the exception on YouTube. Whereas like on Facebook, it's really interactive. Instagram is really interactive, and so it elicits more hate, if that makes sense. So that's all it is, though. But yeah, we need traffic. That's it, man. So he said, "Who would want a ball there?" That's so funny. All right, you're gonna get some real honest. You're gonna get two real honest answers. So first and foremost, bro, get drunk minimum 4 times a week, okay? And honestly, bro, my body, right now it's just holding too much water, right? If you drink like malt liquor every day, your body has to be able to process it, right? And so in turn, your body will hold a bunch of water weight, right? So right now, over the past probably 2.5 to 3 years, my body has just held too much water, bro. And so, yeah, we could get braided, but it's like you carry water weight in your face, right? And so like, yeah, we could get braided, but then, you're still holding water weight. And so, still a clean guy, obviously, still clean as fuck, right? But just holding too much water weight. And so in my body, and so it's like, that needs to be my focus, is to shred, as opposed to just going and getting braided and then holding a bunch of water weight, right? And so need to shred probably about for as far as a basketball player goes, probably 26 pounds overweight on a 6'7" frame. So now, could that all disappear in 90 days? Yes, we could. We could abstain from malt liquor. We could abstain from, well, yeah, malt liquor. We could abstain, and then we could probably lose 26 pounds of water weight, or at least 20. We could lose, or 18 pounds of water weight, right? And that could happen in 90 days, honestly. But fuck, bro, what do you do in the evening time? What do you do? Like, after you've done your tasks for the day, whatever they may be, you've done, whatever, wherever you went out to eat, or, whoever you talked to, whoop-de-whoop. What the fuck do you do from 6 to midnight? So we get drunk so much, and then it's like, we're holding a lot of water weight. Yeah, we if we got braided right now, it would be clean. Obviously, it would still be clean. But it's like, man, we got to focus more on, yeah, we would need to go shred, bro. As that shredding needs to take precedence over getting French braided. So, and then was gonna think of one more thing. It might have just been the overall price over the past, like, you can, if you, depending on how many braids you get, it might be $200, right? And so it's like, well, do we spend $200? So that might be part of it too, because after the pandemic, even a haircut was $80. So think about haircuts. They're $80. You want to get French braided, you might spend over $100. So those might be the two reasons, right? We're holding water weight from getting drunk every day. And then just the raw price, because the way that the new economy is with, because haircuts, that never ended. Haircuts never ended during the pandemic. And so same with braids. So, but yeah, if we were, let's say, 11% body fat, 205 pounds, lean, and, face lean, midsection lean. Yeah, we'd be more inclined to go get braids, right? Because it would match, right? Everything would match, right? As opposed to just, a guy that, again, still cleaner than almost everybody, still one of the cleanest guys in the history of maybe the United States. But like, we got to shred. Long story short, great question. We got long-winded on that because have thought about that myself. Because it's been, trying to think, last time we got braided, 2025. It's been over a year since we got braided up. So, well over a year, actually. But yeah, it did stop. So, oh, is that true? Beers and wine? Was thinking malt liquor was more, but then it might take more beers than malt liquor to get drunk, right? So, okay, all right. Well, that's good to hear. So our it's probably, it's less about, obviously that matters, but I think it's the alcohol itself that kind of like turns a switch on in your body, right? The alcohol itself turns a switch on in your body, and then your body holds the water, if that makes sense, right? Because it has to process the alcohol, and so I think that they might call it inflammation. So inflammation maybe, but and under the it's like you can really stop drinking any time, but there has to be a reason, right? It has to, like, if you're gonna like stop doing something, there needs to be a reason, right? And so that's kind of that's our thought process. But great feedback. Thank you for asking that. So 66-minute live. So that's a good live. 66 minutes, bro, is good. All right. Well, we'll probably give it a little bit longer and then bounce. We're just trying to touch base, maybe learn something. Every once in a while we learn something from a live. We learn something and then we're like, oh. So, talk to the subscribers that have been here for 10 years. Yeah, very rarely are there haters up in YouTube. Unless they're local, right? If they're, if there is a hater in a YouTube live, it's because they're from Oregon. And so small, okay. Yeah. Hard liquor. Yeah, so small amounts of hard liquor. And honestly, that's probably the best. Yeah. And see, my thing is, then you got to go buy a whole bottle, right? As opposed to just going to 7-Eleven or something. But yeah, that's what it is, man. It's interesting stuff, though. But lots of people drink, man. Better to be a drinker and a partier than a smoker, right? So would rather smoke my fault. Would rather drink and party than like smoke. And just the way smokers are trash, bro. Oregon is full of smokers, and so they're trash. But people used to get drunk and party, man. And it's different now. It's just a different world, bro. The timeline changed. It's like, damn, man. But yeah. That's it, man. Man, that live went fast. That's 70 minutes? Gosh, 70 minutes flew by. But yeah, we're just trying to generate notifications, man. Maybe we learned something en route, but we gotta make the floodgates break, bro. We have to make the floodgates break. Man, that's so funny that you went to the Facebook, though, because like those are different worlds, right? Those are different worlds, bro. Like Facebook is like When you walk into our Facebook, you're walking into Oregon. Does that make sense? You're walking into Portland, even Vancouver, Washington. You know that because that's all the same region. Vancouver, Washington, Beaverton, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Salem, Oregon. That's all kind of the same region, man. Even Gresham out there, you know, it's like it's all one region, and that's just what it is. Are you guys familiar with Vancouver, Washington? It's the suburb to the north of Portland. The suburb on the north side of Portland. So if you just drive up I-5 north, you run into Vancouver, Washington, and so that's a suburb. It's probably the biggest suburb of Portland. It's a big suburb. It's probably legit 200,000 people. Like legit. Like it might be even more than that. It's a big suburb. So they're not real good at basketball up there. They still play basketball, but our schools are way better in Oregon. Yeah, so oh wow. Yeah, YouTube's international, Facebook's local. So much different. Like you just walk into Oregon when you're on Oregon Facebook, it's like, hello, you're in Oregon. So for a guy like you that is international, you know, yeah, that's what that is. Oh, bro, do you remember where you were at? Because there's parts of Portland, maybe as much as half of Portland is like Portlandia, the show. Yeah, it's really like that. It's so yeah, Portlandia. That's how Portland is. Like maybe half. It's hard to say. We that's just a guess though. That is just a guess. That could be easily refuted. But yeah, maybe half of Portland is just like Portlandia. Would like to know where you were at exactly, because then we'd be able to for sure tell you. But yeah, man, 7:17 West Coast American Standard Time. Getting drunk, man. So we gotta go viral, guys. So every damn day, we need 1 million views a day. So very tall order. Very tall order. So yeah. So yeah, 5,000 subscribers. Oh yeah, it was too long ago. Okay. So 12 years ago. So yeah. Before the pandemic, Portland was actually a good place, right? Before the pandemic, so 12 years ago, 2014. Okay. Portland was a good place before the pandemic. Before all the government became LGBTQ, all the industry became LGBTQ, Portland was good. You know, now it's just, you know, fine women, fine women want to be around heterosexual men. Like, it's just, it's the elephant in the room, right? When you make a place that's LGBTQ, you know, bro, fine women aren't going there, right? And then it makes it harder for us to go because there's no women in there. And then Portland just starts sucking overall, right? And that's what happened. It just started sucking. And then if you throw in the homelessness, see, homelessness shouldn't be an issue. But if it's an issue on top of everything else sucking, then it is an issue on top of everything else, right? But if it was just homelessness by itself, it'd be fine. But it's bad. Portland is so bad, you guys. Like, the pandemic killed Oregon. The pandemic dismantled our state, right? Now, you might have fun. You might get lucky and have fun somewhere. You might go to a venue and there's the right ratio there, male to female. There's the right DJ playing. You know, there's, you know, less trash ass people there than normal, but for the most part, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a place that's active, you know. So yeah, 12 years ago. Yeah, man, great feedback. 5,000 subscribers. Notifications get sent to 5 people total. 0.01%. Or is that 0.1%? 0.1%, man. So, John R. 1206. Look what he typed, guys. Hit the HD in the lower right. Bro. That's for real, man. That's when, now here's the thing. The reason we did that is because that's how long we've been at it. Is when you first, back in 2014, when you uploaded to Facebook or even here on YouTube, you had to manually make it HD, right? You had to manually make it HD, right? It would default to like 480p. By default, you had to make it 1080p back then, right? So that's how long we've been at it. And so it's wild that that's why we appreciate YouTube lives, because like we'll get, you know, a guy like John R. who has been here since he's probably been here for 10 years, right? For him to reference that, something that we have yet to type this decade, that means he was here. So, damn. Wow, that's something else, man. 10 years. 12, really. Yeah, John R., thank you for that feedback. He says that's real. Oh. See, bro? Yeah. Yeah. So, wow, bro. That's what it is, man. YouTube is like, you would think that they would want people to be in lives and want people to be hanging out and on their app as opposed to going over to whatever, Twitch or whatever, you know, there's so many apps now. The feedback makes the lives brack, you guys. So that's what it is. Yeah. We normally give it about 8 minutes. Now it's been 80 minutes, right? We'll give it 8 minutes, monologue real quick, touch base, and then we got to get up out. So we'll probably save this live though, talking about our water weight from getting drunk every day. So yeah, talking about our water weight, getting drunk every day. We'll probably save the live, but we'll probably give it a couple more minutes and then bounce up out of here, you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the feedback. Appreciate the subscriptions. We need 5,000 more, right? We need 1 million views a day on every platform, you guys. And that's the point we have to get to. We have to make these floodgates break. It's fun and dandy. Obviously, the internet's fun. Facebook's fun. YouTube's fun. It's all fun. Instagram is all fun, but we have to kick ass and we have to find out how to make all of our shit brack, right? Our YouTube needs to brack, and then obviously Facebook and Instagram, but we just have to find a way, man. And someone said earlier that most of our subscribers are from the earlier days, and they're right. That's here though on YouTube, because we did YouTube first. Instagram came, third, right? Instagram was third. And so, we shifted focus to Instagram because it was more active. And so if whoever typed that initially, we would go back and look, but we'll just address it right now. We would go back and, hold on, we lost our train of thought. Hold on. Okay, we were referencing how we had most our let's see here. We were referencing the subscribers here, how they're from like the 2010s, and how on Instagram it's from the 2020s, our subscribers. And that's because, YouTube was first, obviously Facebook second. So it went YouTube first, Facebook second, and then Instagram was third. So we got going on Instagram because it was just more interactive. And so our followers this decade are on Instagram, right? Primarily. And then, we'll come back here and we'll touch base real quick. But we spend less of our time here. So there's less, new followers. There's just less new followers on YouTube. And because Instagram's just so much more fun. Facebook's so much more interactive. And so that's the reason for that. And so we could have addressed that earlier. We must have got sidetracked though, but that's a good, that's a good question. It's like people think, people might say, yeah, well, most of your followers are from, 2017, whoop-de-whoop. Well, maybe here on YouTube. All right, but Facebook's different. Instagram is different. And so, long story short, we got to go viral every day. So, we'll wait 30 more seconds and then we'll get up out of here. That's a long live, 84 minutes. That's long. You guys had us going. All right.